How's it going, guys? My name is Zach with the Movie Castle, and today we're going to be doing something that I've been wanting to do for a little bit, and that is take a look at my complete Robert the Doll DVD collection. We're going to be looking at the physical media, as well as doing a little review for each movie. Now, there's a few things I want to mention first. These are based on the real-life Robert the Doll. However, it is a pretty loose reimagining, so if you do want to hear the real-world story, there are plenty of videos on YouTube that talk about that, and if that is something you're interested in, you have a good night of YouTubing ahead of you. Secondly, I'm in America. A few of these movies have alternate titles in England, so if some of them are different, that is why. And thirdly, at the moment, there are 5 movies. It would not surprise me if they make a 6 or even more. I don't know when in time, because in YouTube, people could find this video way into the future. So I want to say at the moment, there are only 5, but if a 6 or more comes out, I will review those separately when they come out. So with all that out of the way, let's jump right into the first one. Robert, and I do want to say everyone calls this the Robert the Doll series, but I think it's just really the Robert series because none of the movies actually say Robert the Doll, they just say Robert. So in this one, you get a family, mother, father, and son, and the mother is forced to fire their cleaning lady when she becomes too old to do her duties properly. As a parting gift, she leaves a son, Robert the Doll, and unfortunately, quite quickly, he begins to misbehave, move about, and do things. And even more unfortunately, the mother has a history of mental disorders, and when she says she thinks something's up, no one is really believing her, and whenever her son says something, they begin to worry that the son may have inherited the problems the mother had. And it's actually a very serious subject matter, and that's one thing that surprised me, is the first movie is actually very serious. Now, there is a lot of low-budget stuff with this movie. Like any shot with puppeteering, if you stop and think about it, you can figure out how they're all done. You know, there's no big robots or anything like that. It is a very, very low-budget movie. But that being said, it's still fine. It's just, it's better if you know that going in so you know what to expect. It's not going to be the doll running around or doing crazy stuff. Very low-budget, confined movie. More serious than you think, but actually a little better than I probably thought it would be. But overall, it's fine. The whole series is pretty low budget, and I find that they're really good, like, rainy day movies. You know, you don't have to be too terribly invested to watch them, and that was actually kind of good, you know, movies that you can sit back and relax and watch, you know, good rainy day movies. So there's the disc for the first one. And we're going to move on from Robert to Robert 2. This is the second movie, The Curse of Robert, and this is actually probably my personal favorite. After the events of the first film, Robert gets sent to a museum of haunted objects, and there the cleaning lady and the security guards begin to notice that something's up with this doll. It's a little more than you might think. So yeah, fun, a doll in a haunted museum. It's still pretty clearly low budget, but they do increase the scope a little bit. And, you know, you just gotta love haunted museum movies. But yeah, this is really fun. Probably my favorite of the series. It is kind of unfortunate that they didn't have a bigger budget, otherwise you could have seen probably more haunted things in the museum, but it's really just Robert. And yeah, again, don't expect this to go too crazy, because they are very, very low budget films, but it's a step in the right direction. It's pretty cool. And yeah, just gotta love haunted museums. So yeah, 2 is probably my favorite. Moving on to Robert 3, this is Robert and the Toymaker. And if we open it up, there's the disc again. So from here on out, the series kind of becomes pretty, like, you know what to expect. It's formulaic. These are all prequel movies. They go to the past, and for the prequel movies, you're going to get a certain formula. The first half of the movie is going to be very serious and not too much puppets. It's, you know, them trying to be more dramatic and do something else. But then the second half is going to be puppets, and it's all the puppets in different situations each movie. And from here on out, though, you do get to see more than just Robert. So in the prequel movies, there are other dolls, which is fun, but you know, you do get the formula of first half is drama, second half is puppets in a different situation. So they are kind of similar from here on out. But in Robert, you get a man who has a magical book, and he's running through Germany trying to hide it from the Nazis. And to be fair, there is a moment, for those of you who are Tarantino fans, there's a moment that they do kind of rip off Inglourious. But anyway, the book winds up in the hands of the Toymaker, and he creates Robert. So for the first half of this movie or so, Robert isn't even made yet, so don't expect any, you know, creepy, spooky shenanigans in the first half, because Robert isn't even around. But it does build up to some cool stuff. Puppets versus Nazis, and I mean, you get Puppet Master referenced right there on the cover. So yeah, cool. You know, the puppets get into the Nazi bunker headquarters thing at the end, and it's a fine movie. But anyway, moving on, we got Robert 4, The Revenge of Robert. I believe I picked this up in Dollar Tree haul number 2, so I actually found this movie at the Dollar Tree for only $1, and that was super fun. So yeah, if you want to go back and look at that haul, you can see me right after I bought the movie. And that's where I first talked about doing this video, you know, where I show all the Robert the Doll movies together. But anyway, Robert 4, you get the first half of this movie is quite unfortunately a very unnecessary prequel. It's basically the guy who wrote the book and another person getting it. I think it's like his wife, and then she's on the run again from the Nazis, trying to keep the book away from the Nazis again. And it's sort of like we already know this book's ultimate fate. It feels a lot like they're doing the same thing they did for the first half of part 3. But then after that, you do get puppets on a train. So the second half of the movie, puppets fighting Nazis on a train. That's fun, you know. So you see the formula is, you know, first half serious, second half puppets fighting people. But yeah, this is essentially the train one. Still in the past, still Germany, still Nazis, but now it's a train. But anyway, overall, it's fine. Like I said, low budget stuff. Don't expect too much of it, and it's fine. You know, kind of like that. You know, and then the last one. This one is called Robert Reborn, and this one actually has a slipcase. Let me get that in better focus for you. This is at the moment the last one, and it is still a prequel. You get some other dolls on the cover. Robert's back and this time he has company, although there were other dolls in other movies, I believe, unless I'm misremembering. But yeah, this one has a super cool slipcase, and it's the same cover, but I do like slipcases. They're nice. Although I have to open up the DVD, so I set it down. But yeah, Robert Reborn. So this one, the Toymaker has fled to Russia from Germany, and you get some espionage stuff with the government figuring out, because you know it's a different government this time, who this guy might be, and seeing if they should bring him in and try to get something from him, you know. So it's espionage in the beginning. You know, the puppets are around, but it's more that type of story at the beginning, you know, because it's the serious first half. And then the second half, if you note up here, horror at 30,000 feet. So yeah, this one is a plane. You know, you get the first one, a bunker, well, the first of the prequel trilogy, a bunker, and then a train, and then a plane. So that's, you know, it's always fun. Puppets killing Soviets on a plane. But yeah, and then we're gonna open this up, and like all the other movies, it's the cover again on the disc. But yeah, it was fine. Although after part 4, it kind of, you thought it wrapped everything up in the past, and I was expecting to be in the present, but no, there's one more where you're in the past, and you know we haven't quite gotten back to the present yet. So I'm looking forward to part 6, because it will probably be a continuation of the first 2, and we'll get to see, you know, more of that stuff, because I don't know, the past is interesting, but we've been here for 3 films. Although maybe they'll do a different decade. He has gotten to England by this point, so England, but, you know, I don't know, maybe they'll do this, you know, what, like maybe the 80s or something, I don't know. But yeah, a cool series. Like I said, though, very low budget, sometimes formulaic, and these are really best as, you know, something you don't have to pay too much attention to. Rainy day movies, you can sit back, relax, watch these. There's not going to be huge explosions or big budget things, but overall they're fine. Just you gotta know what to expect. Obviously, part 2 is my favorite. Part 1's really serious. 3 through 5 get kind of formulaic, but there is interesting stuff, and there is other dolls. But yeah, this series, fine, low-budget movies. Don't expect to get terribly much out of them, but as, you know, something to watch to pass the time there, they serve that purpose. But like I said, no Chucky stuff, no over-the-top action, no robot puppets. But like I said, these are best used to pass the time, you know, and I think if you see them in that way, they're fine. They're not the greatest things ever, but they're good for what they are. Anyway, I like doing a complete collection. I think I'll do more of these in the future. I have done this for Cube and Return of the Living Dead, and I do have quite a few complete franchises, so I'll probably do more of this stuff in other videos, so stick around for that. If you've watched this far, thank you for watching. And to everyone who's liked and subscribed, you really do help out my channel. So thank you for liking and subscribing. I do 95% horror on this channel. So if you're into that, I will have more very soon. And on the bottom, there should be a playlist to my other DVD collection videos. And anyway, have a great day. I'll see you guys again very, very soon.